Hello and welcome. Let me start with my introduction first and then we'll go into the presentation. So myself Jignesh Patel, working as a senior QA in horizontal digital, around 20 plus years of experience in software testing and 10 years in Sitecore and its product related testing. I'm leading the team of more than 8 engineers in the horizontal. My duty is to deliver the connected experience to the customer so they'll make more money and we as a client and partner grow together. So let me hand it over to Richa for her introduction.
Good afternoon everyone. I am Richa Kumawat, working as a quality analyst at Horizontal Digital. I have around 3 years of experience in Sitecore. I am an ISTQB certified QA. I have few more certifications which are listed on the screen. And my core area of interest is in automation testing and learning more about AI. Thank you. Over to you, Jignesh.
Thank you. So let me tell you a story before going into the presentation. So once computer came, people had thought of that the manual jobs would be replaced. Did that happen? I believe yes, because computer jobs has been taken over by the manual works which we used to do daily. That was replaced. Similarly, once internet came, people had thought of that the traditional business will die. Correct? Did that happen? Again I say yes, because the internet, people has used the internet as a media to promote and expand their business. They use or they learn the Facebooks, Instagram or WhatsApp to amplify their business. Correct? And so in short, people has the adaptability to hold the current trend. Correct? And now AI is here and we all are worried that it will take our jobs away. Correct? But my belief is that that is not going to happen. Because if you are learning new things, if you are upgrading yourself, if you are sharpening your weapon, then this is not going to happen. So having said that, my topic is redefining the quality engineering in the AI era. So currently, let me explain you how manual QA works. They used to do the requirement analysis, test case writing, test executions, automation testing, performance, security. This all testing they are doing manually. Correct? But if you continue to do so, that will not have more sense in the future. So you have to give your AI flavor to each and every testing which you are currently doing. Correct? So this is the same slide where I have given only the flavor of AI. So yeah, next slide please. So let me start with the SDLC phases, which is software lifecycle for testing. So first is requirement analysis using AI. Currently what we are doing is, once requirement comes to us, what we do is we manually go through it, collecting the questions, preparing the comments for Jira or rather ask related to the client. So rather than doing that, just focus on your AI. Give your requirement to the AI, ask AI that, find out the ambiguous or the problematic statement available in that and give me the prompt or information which I can directly ask to the client rather than further delay. Next is about test case writing. This will consume around 30 to 40% of your software testing life cycle process. So if you are not automating this particular point, that means you are not giving justice to the AI. Correct? So requirement can be in the form of anything. It could be in the Figma, could be in the Confluence, or maybe in the Jira itself, which is acceptance criteria. Correct? So you can generate the functional scenarios, maybe positive, negative, edge cases. Apart from this, you can also generate the responsive scenarios, Sitecore specific component scenarios, as well as regression and maybe the non-functional, which is either performance, security and other things. So those all can be done using the test case using AI. Next is test data generation. So we have covered requirement analysis, test case writing, now comes to a part where you have to execute test cases. To execute something, you require a test data, correct? So if you generate the test data manually, it is not a valid scenario. So, suppose you are testing the application on UAT stage or production environment, you need a realistic test data, which is a mimic of the test data which you can use at a production testing. So that can be easily generated. It could be a blog, entire blog functionality, could be a product's long description, or could be the images or videos. So those can be easily generated from AI. Similarly, if you are testing any complex application like banking or maybe any booking websites, where you need to perform the testing with boundary value analysis, equivalent partitioning, and other thing. For example, you are saving account where you need to test with minus, plus, and maybe zero. So those kind of test data can be generated using AI. And the last one is bulk test data, which can be used in performance testing. You need thousands or millions of users at the same time. If you do it manually, it takes maybe a year to even, you are not able to complete that work. But if you do it using AI, that would be super fast. Now, it comes to a part where you need to perform the execution. So now you have everything. Now it comes to execution. If you are doing the manual testing with respect to your budget, then ignore this part. But if you are doing the automation, or rather using the automation in your day-to-day activity, then you can leverage the tools like XLQ and the test rigor and the Mabels. They'll provide a facility to identify the elements based on your recording. The way you record the screen, it stores the element into your repository. It has ability to update the locators. Locators means, for example, you have a field, say first name, input name is equal to first name, that is your locator. So it also converts the script using AI, and the last one is auto healing the locators. So consider a case where today I have a field in the form, say mobile number, but tomorrow after deployment, someone has changed that field to a cell number. So what happens? Once I run that script into production, it will fail. Correct? But tools like which I have mentioned, those provide an AI capability to auto heal that script, and that will not fail into a production. It runs through it. Next slide. API testing. What is API testing? Testing the things on a business layer, which is the middle layer between your front end and the back end. Correct? So you can generate the test cases from collections. If you receive the collection, or if you receive the collection from client or some other locations, you can apply that collection into AI. It will auto generate the script, or rather the request for you. It can also generate the test script based on your prompt. For example, you need a script for 200 OK, which is API response, correct? You can generate that using AI. Tools like Postman and Mabel has that capability to do this. Similarly, it will also generate the smart test data, which could be I have already taken the example of banking application, positive, negative, and maybe zero case data that can be also generated using AI. And the fourth one is self-healing test, which I already covered, but though I repeated that, for example, in the request, you have a field name, say customer name, and by mistakenly you have provided the client name, which is a likelihood scenario, happens every day for us. Correct? That can be also corrected by the AI itself to do the further execution. Next is, till now we have completed the functional part of it. Now move to the non-functional testing, which is either performance. So start with performance. So performance testing using AI. So intelligent load pattern generation. So currently what we are doing as a part of the performance testing, we have a static scenario like 1,000 users, maybe 10 minutes, and say 8 p.m. This is the likelihood scenario which we are testing. But as a part of intelligent pattern recognition, it actually goes into your Google Analytics, or rather into your production logs, and find out what kind of pattern that you have on the environment, specific environment. Based on that, it generates the particular load. For example, your 70% traffic is generated from the mobile, not the desktop. Then you are testing the log scenario previously. Now you have got the access scenario, which can be generated from Google Analytics and other logs. Similarly, you can also do the bottleneck detection, which is if you are testing any applications where API is the key. For example, any third-party integration or maybe Sitecore search where API comes into the picture. Once you run the applications or perform the testing, at that time you saw that your application is not performing well, but you need to find out the culprits, correct? Who are the culprits? So those culprits can be easily identified by the AI in the form of logs or in the form of Grafana dashboard, which is a free AI powered tool with some capabilities. You can integrate with load runner or maybe the blaze meter, and you will take the benefit of it. Next is auto scaling and resource optimization. So even we all know that Sitecore also provides the facility of auto scaling the environment based on the email request that we can send it over. For example, you have 1,000 users today, tomorrow you have maybe millions users. It auto scales the environment based on our request. It does the resource optimization like GSS minification and the other, I think, JavaScript level stuff. It can automatically manage. Next is security testing using AI. So security testing can be done at two levels. One at the application level, second is network level. So here I am talking about at application level. So tools using like Police and Dynatrace has a capability to go into your actual Git repository, scans out your code and find out the vulnerabilities or the weaknesses available in the particular application. It also does the penetration testing, like it actually mimics the behavior of attackers. Try to test your applications with negative scenario, positive scenario, and gives us the confidence that you are doing the right testing and your application is stable enough to go into the production environment. And the next one is secure log analysis. So once application test your application scan through your so once AI scan through your application, it generates some log at the log server, or maybe if you are hosted client level, that will be generated at specific level. So consider that case that your application is deployed on India, your application is hosted for India only, but someone from US is accessing your application at say maybe 3 p.m. or 3 a.m. rather. So this is not a legitimate case that we wanted, because your application is not hosted for US people, that is only hosted for Indian people, correct? So those kind of fishy activities going on at log level, that can be also automated using AI. And the last one is accessibility validations, which is the testing performed for the specially able people. So it actually, they have, because of their physical limitation, they cannot see the content or cannot hear the content which is available in the website. So we need to develop applications using some standards and give a justice to it. So they can also use this. So it has a these 4 categories which can be handled. First is intelligent image analysis. It actually goes into your images which is available in the website, verify the alternate text which is key for them, and tell us that this is alternate text is missing for these images, or rather this is not a proper content for you. Second is semantic understanding of UI, means it will actually go to your HTML when you are using the tags like area labeled by, area described by another text for accessibility. It actually does the AI verification there and suggests you the issues. Third is color contrast and visual accessibility issues. For example, you have a banner with a black image and a font with a blue text. It means there has to be a problem for the blind user or partial blind user to verify those content. So those kind of issues has been also given by the tools. And voice and interaction testing, where it actually mimics the physically challenged people's behavior and perform the testing. It also found the issues for mouse or keyboard trap. So when you go into your tabbing sequence, sometimes you observe that your tab has been stopped at maybe drop down level and not coming out because of the next content. So those kind of issues can be found out using AI. Tools like Alien, ShortSight and DQ provide such AI capabilities to do the further task. And the last one is, now you are done with your testing. So you have done the functional, non-functional. Now it comes to a part where you need to generate the documents and provide it to client, because you are ultimately working for CMS, and CMS has some content or author specific document to be given to the customer, correct? So those documents can be generated using AI. For example, you want to generate the test plan, which describes the end-to-end testing scope. You can also generate the bug reports, accessibility report, automation reports. Before coming into this presentation, I had a request for one of my clients. They wanted to generate the test document, rather the contents author specific document for 50 components, and I have to provide that document at the end of my day. So what I did was, I connected to the MCP server. I have given the specific format to Claude, and I asked that I need to generate the content based on this specific format. It completed within 10 minutes, and that 50 component I have delivered it to the client. So this is how AI can help us to generate each and everything from start to end. So let me hand it over to Richa for further slides.
Thank you, Jignesh, for telling us about the role of AI in QA processes. Now let's see how artificial intelligence can be utilized in Sitecore. As we all know that Sitecore have many products, so let's see how AI can help in each one of them. First, let's talk about XM Cloud. So, test case writing takes lots of time. And instead of writing everything manually, we can feed AI the expected behavior and component structure. We also have created one utility which I will show you at the end of our presentation. The second is test content generation. So with the help of AI, we can generate test content for multiple languages. So as a QA, we can test the language switch validation and UI consistency check across different languages. And for GraphQL testing, AI can help in writing those GraphQL queries and validating API scenarios, which will reduce the dependency on developers. Now let's see Content Hub. So in Content Hub, with the help of AI, we can generate test cases for content workflows. Then for DAM testing, that is digital asset management testing, here QAs need to validate the asset upload or download scenarios or metadata for title, tags and descriptions. So here AI can generate variety of test data, and it can also suggest different edge cases. Third is role-based access testing. Now this is critical in Content Hub because different users have different roles, and here AI can assist us to identify those permission-based scenarios. Then we have search and taxonomy testing. So we know that Content Hub uses search to find assets and taxonomies for tags, categories and hierarchies. So here AI can suggest different combinations of filter, and it can also generate variety of search scenarios. Then with the help of AI, we can also validate whether the tags are relevant or not, and it can also detect the missing metadata. Now let's see how AI can be useful while testing Order Cloud. So let's take an example of an e-commerce website built on Order Cloud where a user is buying the product. Okay. So now as a QA, we have to validate whether if it is showing the correct product price, or if the payment is successful, or if the order is placed properly or not. So here AI can generate all those pricing related scenarios, and it can also generate the integration test flows, and it can also identify the missing API scenarios. Then it can also generate some commerce specific test cases. So we all know that e-commerce have variety of flows like add to cart, checkout, order cancellation, apply coupon and lots of. So here it can save the time for writing those domain specific test cases. Then it can also generate some mock responses for API. We all know that while testing, some APIs do not work. So here it can generate some mock responses so that QAs can validate without real API. Now let's see AI powered personalization testing. We all know that personalization works on rules, and testing those thousands of personalization rules across web, mobile and email is huge. So with the help of AI, we can validate whether the correct rules are applied or not. We can also compare the visual differences like content and layout. We can also simulate multiple users like new user, logged in user or user from different locations and devices so that it can verify whether the correct content is shown to that particular user. It can also recommend some high risk test path so that like it can also show the revenue impacting scenario and the most used user journeys. Nowadays, clients are switching from XP to Sitecore AI, and during migration, the biggest problem or the biggest challenge is to ensure that nothing breaks, whether it's a UI, content or API. Everything should behave same. Okay, so here with the help of AI, we can capture the screenshots of pages before and after migration so that it can compare and highlight those visual differences. It can also detect some missing elements like URL, images or some components. It can also compare some version histories, like it can detect the differences between the draft version and the published version. Blind spots. Each coin has two sides. Until now, we have seen the usefulness of AI in Sitecore. Now let's look at some blind spots of AI. The first one is initial setup complexity. You all are developers and you all know that how hard it is to set up the initial setup. So here it requires tool integration and some training and prompt designing and lots of things. Then full automation without business alignment. The problem is we try to automate everything using AI, but we ignore the actual business priorities. Third is training models on poor quality data. Your AI is only as good as the data you give it. Incorrect, incomplete or outdated data can lead to generate incorrect result. And the last, AI will replace QAs. So let me tell you, AI will not replace QAs, but the QAs using AI will definitely replace those who don't. The reality is, AI handles repetitive tasks and the human handles business understanding and critical thinking. So AI is an assistant, not a replacement. Now let me give you the demo of a utility which we have created using AI for the test case generation. So this is the UI. Here you have to enter the desktop Figma link, then some functional requirements which are given to you. You can also provide the mobile Figma link and some mobile specific requirements. This is the optional. Here you have to provide the Figma access token, and if you have already created that component, you can provide here the component URL. From this drop down, you can select for which product you want to generate the test cases, and here you can select for which type of CMS you want to generate. So right now I have selected the XM Cloud, and after clicking on this button, it will generate all these test cases and it will also categorize those. Here you can see these are the test cases for desktop UI, mobile UI, functional, XMC for content editor and page editor. Here you can deselect if you don't want that particular test case, and you can also verify whether you can review it whether it is correct or not. After reviewing, you can export it to Excel or directly to Qmetry. We also have given the facility to upload it on Azure DevOps. And yes, that's it. Your test cases are generated and you have also uploaded to that particular tool which you are using for saving those test cases. in XP and XM Cloud test cases. So on the left hand side, you will see the experience editor test cases, and on the right hand side, there are the test cases for page editor.
So we have used the Cloud AI to feed the data from our local repository, and it generates the test cases based on their intelligence to do the job.
This is the flow which I have shown you, the demo. Here I have just given the, the UI designs and some additional requirement, and with the help of AI, it gave me the output just by one click. And the benefits are, it ensures the consistency so that in your project, if multiple QAs are working, all have same type and same format of test cases, and it saves the time about 80 to 85% for writing those test cases.
Apart from this, this was all about the writing of test cases. We are currently, as a horizontal, working on a couple of more AI-powered tools, in which one of them would be the text executions for Figma to actual implementation. So once you select those two parts, we created the Chrome add-on where you actually see the comparison between them and find out the differences. Once you click on that log a bug button, once you click that, that bug will be copied into a Jira, and the bug will be created within a seconds, rather than just writing everything on the bugs manually. Second is reusable automation libraries. So currently we have a quick automation framework which is built on Selenium and Java. So we are planning to use the AI capable tool which are Playwright in future for AI capable solutions. And we have one more utility which is custom desktop tool which compares your previous and the current version of your URLs. For example, you have one URL where QA specific URL is there, and another version you have UAT specific URL. You can compare those two URLs, find out the differences, and log as a part of. You can send that email to a specific customer as well. So those are kind of facilities we have created in horizontal. So it saves our time, ensures the consistency, and avoids the human errors. So this is all about the execution part of it.
Thanks to our sponsors, we got a chance to speak at SubCon. Thank you. You can scan the QR code and give us some feedback, or if you have any questions, you can just ask us right now.
Thank you guys, very well presented. I hope that the time saving that you mentioned, people start using it and understanding it. So over to people if they have any questions. Yeah.
Alright, so my question is, if you can go to the tool screen, and we are selecting CMS, right?
Yeah.
So what actually it does? So does it write test cases as per the CMS, or what is the purpose of that specific CMS?
Okay, so we have a tool, or rather the test case repository built on specific CMS. The reason is, in Sitecore XP, we have experience editor, correct? And now in Sitecore AI, we have a page editor. So we have created a test cases based on that specific method. Now we have feed that AI with the help of Claude to generate test cases based on the CMS selections. Because tomorrow you have some Drupal maybe in future someone else. So that test case repository has to build over a period of time. So that's what we did.
Right, and the connected part, you mentioned that the another utility, right, which does the Figma and the actual output.
Yes.
So this is going to be test the CMS part also. I mean the CMS test.
No, that only covers the UI part, not the CMS.
Yeah. But is there any possibility that can also be done by automation?
Yes, that can be done in future if the AI capabilities exist to cover such scenarios. But yeah, that can be done.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Nice presentation. Thank you.
It was already covered in that, but some part of that, as your tool, I am assuming that it can create test cases for each and every CMS. But as you mentioned, for that you have to update your repository.
Yes.
Right? So that means for now it is compatible with XM Cloud and XP, should I assume?
Sorry, it is hard to hear.
For now, should I assume that this demo will conclude with XM Cloud CMS and Sitecore XP CMS?
Yes, currently the test case which we have separated using for this specific tool XM Cloud.
Okay.
But we have also repository exist with our horizontal for XP as well as some other CMS tool.
Okay, so how much time it take to create test cases or create your system capable enough for another CMS? So how much time it will take?
It takes time because you ultimately create manual test case first to feed the AI, and then you can generate the specific test cases based on your based on the intelligence which AI can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alright, that concludes the session in the marketing. This was the last session here, so we can all move to the main room, probably for the closing of the SubCon. Thank you all for being here and for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you everyone. Bye.